we have another story to tell. So just introduce yourself and then just get into your story.
Alright, yeah. I'm Killer Keem. Also, Killer Keem on YouTube, Apple Music, and everything else. Look for me. Artist at Full Sail University. Let's get it. Oh yeah, and I'm from Chicago. But anyway, so basically, this happened like around break time. So break was like about a month ago. It was about a month ago. Yeah. So I go back home for break. I fly home. As I'm flying home, before I actually text my brother, I'm like, yo, what's going on? Woo-woo. He's like, yeah, I'm in North Carolina right now, and so is mom. So is mom. So I'm like, oh, so when I fly back, nobody's gonna be home for Christmas and shit like that. So he's like, yeah, we both out of town. So I'm like, okay. So I get to the airport. I'm like, now I'm finna have to, find my own way home. So I take the train. I'm on the train for like an hour because I got to get from the blue line, which is like all the way up north somewhere, to the green line, which is all the way on the east side. So I do that whole transition. I get home, and my mom's like, yeah, I'll be home tomorrow. So I'm like, oh, okay. So she comes home the next day, and she's like, but I'm also flying back out the next day. So I'm like, what was your purpose of coming back home? She was like, I was coming here just to put some food in the crib for you, and then I'm going back to North Carolina. So I'm just like, okay. So I'm spending my whole break by myself. And, I was like, okay, that's kind of fucked up. I should have just stayed in Florida. Yeah. And, none of my friends was hitting me up, on my first day back. So I was like, yeah, this shit's bad. So, the next day after that, my homie hits me up. He's like, yo, bro, so you got the house to yourself? I'm like, yeah, I got the house to myself for, 2 weeks or whatever like that. He like, all right, bet, I'm going to come stay with you. I'm like, all right, cool. So my homie Steven, he lives, 4 blocks down the street, but he, lives with his grandma. So whenever he's at my house, it's a getaway type shit because, they be tripping over there. So we's at my house, and, every day of break, I kid you not, every day of break, it was a female in my house. And it was like a party every damn day. I did acid for the first time. Oh wait, no, that was here. I did ecstasy for the first time. There we go. Yeah, I did ecstasy for the first time. I did a Xanax because I never did a Xanax. I figured they was pointless or whatever like that. And so yeah, and so smoking all that other shit. I wasn't even supposed to be doing that in my house, but I'm like, okay, 2 weeks gone. I might as well ball out for a little bit, have fun. So one day, this is okay, this is the second experience that I ever had with this, but I had it's not an orgy, but I had a couple of girls at the same time, and in the living room, not even in my room or nothing. We was just out, butt ass naked in the crib, and so basically that was the first time I had a true threesome, and so it was just wild. The whole week it was just wild. Everything was fucked up, smoky. Every time I came back home, I walked in and it was smoking house, and I was like, damn, I feel like I'm a badass son. But then I'm like, but fuck it, y'all left me home, so what do you expect me to do? I'm finna have some fucking fun. So I do that shit. I did all them drugs, partied, everything. Had people come stay with me, and so it was just I kind of feel that void or whatever, not having nobody in the crib. And then people bought me food. They cooked me food. I'm like, if you cooking me food and shit, I don't really need my moms. I'm like, you already got me covered. So you getting me drunk, high, all my friends supporting me. They like, yeah, you in school. Well, we finna get you high as fuck. The weed in Chicago, way better than Florida. Florida weed is fucking ass compared to our shit. We be literally on the moon. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So long story short, had a great ass fucking break, and shit was just all time lit.
All right. We have another story, so introduce yourself and then get into it.
So yeah, my name is Ben, from Europe, and my story is, I don't know, it's crazy. It's crazy for me. It's really different to the US stories. I think so. I like driving a live motorsport so much, and I have a car back in Europe. We built it with my father, and we in Hungary there aren't so many strict rules. So for example, you can drive drunk, fast, and all this stuff. I quite like it. And it was last December or in January, I don't remember, and last time when I was in Hungary, and we used to go to the forest when it's snowy or muddy, to have some fun in the forest with the car, and it's pretty illegal, but you don't find so many police in the forest. And we went there with one of my friends, and there is a guard of the forest, and he stopped us I remember that we were driving really fast, and there was a car in the middle of the road, and this is a one-line road, so you cannot overtake somebody. And he was just stopped, and I stopped next to him, and there was the guy with a shotgun on his shoulder, speaking with me about we should leave the forest, and because he will call the police, and it was a bad decision, but we didn't leave the forest, and we went away, and he called the police, and when we wanted to go away, the police, there was the police guy and the policeman with the car, and I made a U-turn, and and he tried to chase me in the forest, and it was crazy like hell, I knew that I have some police friends, officers in Hungary, so I wasn't afraid of it so much, but it was so crazy. I mean, it happened for 1 or 2 minutes because they were slow, but I mean, I knew the forest so much, all the corners, all the stuff. I was born there, and it was quite good, but we couldn't leave the forest because I was afraid of that they will read my plate, so we just went into a dark place into the forest, and we were sleeping there, and yeah, it was crazy. I mean, for the next 1 or 2 weeks, we were so afraid of driving that car in the town because we were afraid of that they read my plate, and will catch me. But it was funny, yeah. I think 1 week later the police stopped me, and they were asking me about what have I done in the past, and I didn't answer any bad things, but yeah, it was fun. Literally 1 week later I took a photo with the police officer, so yeah, because I knew him, so it was fun. I mean, yeah, my country is not a very good country, but at least we have some fun. So that's it, yeah. It is crazy.